Yeah, I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better.
Hey, by the one and only Brian B-Hue Houston. Man, I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
What have you been up to, man?
Really nothing, just training and taking care of my child. You know, I had a kid, so I needed to fall back a little bit, you know, get that handled. And then I guess you could say the pandemic hit, so that took a couple of years away. So now I'm really just able to be out here fighting. I mean, I've been fighting for like the last year and a half. Been boxing. Okay. So I mean, because more promotions were allowing boxing, but now everybody wants to box and do MMA. So cool, you know. It opens up. I mean, yeah, I've been doing that since I've been doing this, but you know, now it's cool now. So you know, I'll take advantage.
You know, tell me a little bit about it. I mean, you know, from what I know, you're an MMA guy. I know you noticed you have made a little bit of that transition to boxing. Why did you make that transition, and kind of what is the value of your boxing experience at this point?
I did it because I can, honestly. I mean, not to sound a certain type of way, but I mean, I don't really think there's anybody out there that's got better hands than I have in this traditional boxing sense. I mean, because I've been through the ringer with a lot of guys, and plus I train here in Omaha. Got one of the best gyms in the world, so I mean, I know my limits and where I'm at in the game. So and I've been doing this. Honestly, I've been boxing and doing MMA since I started, kind of. I mean, once I started MMA, I think I took off from MMA for about almost a year, and I boxed, and I saw how good I could be. And I just kept, and I kind of like balanced both of them. And now it's cool to, you know, box and do MMA. So, I mean, I might as well take advantage, even though I've been kind of doing this for the last like 10 years, you know, but I don't mind, you know, making a splash and an opportunity that's more suited for me anyway.
You know, been around for a while. Where are you training at now? And kind of who are those training partners that you're working with on a daily basis?
Right now, I mean, things have actually started to look up as far as training partners have come, because past few years, it's like a lot of the bigger, more experienced guys have been out of town, or you had to go to Colorado or Kansas City. But now with Skywalker, that's what I've been with Skywalker for the last like maybe 3-4 years, maybe 5. But Anthony Smith is back now, more at home now. Then we got a couple new guys, Jordan, and we got a couple amateurs, but they're bigger guys. And you have myself, and you have Kedzie. He fights in Bellator. So we actually had a pretty good nucleus of guys that are high level, you know, at Skywalker. And actually, not plug one right now. Jordan fights this weekend in PFL, so you know he's another guy. He's a heavyweight, you know. So I mean, I've got a, like, honestly, Ant's. We were thinking the other day, you know, Ant really doesn't have to leave as much anymore now because he has a nucleus, and I'm healthy now. So, you know, that helps a whole lot too. So, I mean, we have like a good nucleus of big guys with high level experience.
Now, I mean, you're talking about Jordan Heiderman. I mean, what does it mean for you to have somebody with the upside of Jordan Heiderman and somebody that has the experience of an Anthony Smith in that cage with you, especially getting ready for a MMA fight against a UFC vet with somebody that has a lot of fights under his belt?
I mean, it pretty much just lets me know that I'm ready for the occasion. I mean, them being there makes my level raise. Them being there helps me know that I'm on this level. I mean, them being there just helps that confidence be instilled that, you know, I'm able to be sharpened with, you know, sharpen my iron with iron. You know, so them being there is monumental, I guess I could say with one word.
Now, I know you've trained at some of the best gyms in the world. How does training at Skywalker with the likes of Danny Molina and Scott Morton, how does that compare to an American Top Team or a Premier Combat Center type of places?
I mean, one thing I understand about them going to big gyms, do it, but at the same time, I mean, you need to be with a core of people that are for you. Going to the big gym isn't always great for everyone. I'm not saying it wasn't good for me. It was good for me. You know, I got a lot out of it. But But to be a smart person in this field, you have to be selfish and understand that you need to be in a place that's catered for you. You know, and going to a big gym isn't always the best thing for a guy that's coming up right now, you know, that wants to know, hey, how do I get, you know, to the top? Get to the top by having people that you trust around you, people that know what they're doing, and having a core of guys that are have that same mindset, that at the same time are at that level with you, whether it be highest level or low, but someone that you can trust to work with to get to that level. I mean, look at Adesanya. Look at Terrence Crawford. I just speak on him. His coaches, and generally, when didn't really have it, they didn't have any they were great coaches, but no one knew about them. And if Bud had left him because he was pushed to leave, those coaches wouldn't be anywhere right now. But he knew what he was doing. He knew the core that he had. He was smart about it, and he stayed with those coaches. And look where he is now. You know, I mean, like, he could have left and gone to a big gym, but he had his core with him, and he knew that's who he wanted to stay with. You know, that's why you got guys that stay with their dads. You got guys who stay with coaches that they've been with for 10, 12 years. You know, like, I didn't really have that when I got here. I got here and I was training, the guys I was training with, I've been training with for maybe 2, maybe 3 years. You know, I mean, I went to the UFC pretty fast after when I first started. So I didn't have, I guess you could say, besides my boxing, but I didn't choose to go in boxing. I chose to go in MMA because I love MMA. Boxing to me is, I love it because of the skill, but I mean, I need MMA. I mean, it's just so much that encompasses the sport encompasses that it makes me stay around. You know, boxing is great, but at the end of the day, there's a ceiling in boxing. Mm-hmm. You know, because I'm not saying that there isn't a ceiling. MMA is still somewhat at its infancy. It still hasn't broken out how boxing has. So boxing, there's a ceiling. You know, that's why you get a lot of guys, you know, get their money and they kind of get out, you know, because there's a ceiling, you know. But now that you have MMA and being able to use that to box, I mean, I could say that the ceiling's a little higher, or I could just say that the ceiling's wider now, you know, because it lets in more people.
So you mentioned, you know, you fought in the UFC. Tell me a little about your UFC experience and kind of what you took from that and what you got out of that.
It sucked. I mean, honestly, because I don't make any excuses, but I guess you could say I found out a lot of things about myself when going into my first fight. Because my first fight was it was weird because I was the first fight on the card. So in my mind, I know exactly what I'm going to fight. Cool. And I didn't know that I guess I have a severe case of ADHD, which is not just focus. There's a lot of things that go into it, but I won't speak on that right now. I'll just say that when they came in and said, "Hey, you got 45 minutes until you fight," and I was about to wake up. I was like, 45 minutes, cool. I don't need that much time to get warmed up. Just getting warmed up. I've trained already. I'm ready. I don't need all that time. I like to sleep before I fight. I'm a very calm person. I like to sleep. You know? So they come back in before my song's even over in my headphones. I'm sorry, but you have to be on the runway ready to fight in 15 minutes. I'm like, huh? So I'm like going from this to pretty much, and a person with that type of mental, I won't say disability because it isn't, unless you don't know what you're dealing with. But since I did not say that disability, everything's out like, so because of the person that I am, I don't really care. So I'm ready to fight, let's go. But I'm just like, so I go out there and I just get caught cold, you know? I don't make any excuses about it, but I mean, you told me. And I'm thinking like, hey, I got so much time, but then you come right back in. And it's pretty much I'm going from here to, okay, let's fight. I mean, yeah, I could be ready to fight, but getting caught cold is getting caught cold, And then my second fight, I chose to move down there. Everything was working out perfect, but my car caught on fire. Yeah, this is wild, man. It's wild. My car catches on fire the second day I get down there. So I'm like, okay, so I don't care. So I go down the street and I buy a bike. So I'm riding around. And it's like and the gym's 6 miles away from where they had us set up at a house, because they get you set up at certain houses around the city, well, around Margate. So I'm like, cool, 6 miles away. So that's 12 miles a day that I ride on my bike. So
getting road working already.
Road working already. So that plus I'm not turning down none of these workouts that they're giving me. Mm-hmm. So long story short, I overtrained going into the last week. And I tell the coach, hey, coach, I'm about to overtrain. I'm tired. And Conan's like, hey, go in there, spar today, and you can rest for the rest of the weekend and fight next week. Just go in there today. Well, how about I go in there, I do great. I wake up the next day like, oh God, I overtrained. So and I'm sleeping for the next 5 days straight, all day sleeping, because I have no energy to get up even if I eat. So get into the fight. I didn't even warm up going into the fight. I was so tired, man. Going into the third round, I felt like it was a 5-round fight. In my head, I was like, this dude's got to be able to finish me, man. I literally have nothing else in me. I'm so tired right now. I didn't tell nobody. I know what I mean. I know punk. So I just went out there. I mean, yeah, it went to a decision, but I mean, me not overtraining, I should have murdered him. I mean, but at the same time, I mean, with the way things happen, it's just how it happens, man. It just wasn't my time. And I mean, the way things are working out right now, the way things are smooth, the way, this, it's just how things are opening up. I see my opportunities for a legitimate finish to a career now. I mean, regardless of my age, I mean, my body ain't hurting like that. I don't have things wrong with my body. I'm still the same speed that I was before. Only thing is I have to make sure that I eat right, drink well. I have to do everything right so I can maintain the type of physical.
It's a heck of a lot easier to stay in shape when you're younger.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I mean, you just have to make yourself want to do this stuff. So I just learned how to cook, learn how to do all this stuff on my own. I mean, it made it a whole lot easier, I mean, and I still have the ability to be faster. And a lot of the guys that I'm training with, I'm still faster than them. So I mean, my body is still able to work at that high level. And I mean, like I said, I don't have miles on my body, man. All these, look at Robbie Lawler. I learned from Robbie Lawler. He's 20 years in the game. I trained with him and Andre Arlovsky. Still in the game too. These dudes got miles, man. You should be looking at them how they're still there. But I'm doing the exact same thing that they're doing.
Right.
As far as rehab, I look at rehab as not as far as when I'm hurt. I look at rehab so I don't get hurt. I go to chiropractor, I get massages. I eat right, drink my water. I get off here and there, but I mean, I consistently do that. That's another thing I picked up from American Top Team, watching guys what's his name?
Dustin Poirier?
Dustin Poirier. In there every day. Every day. Just training, putting in work. I mean, look where he is now. But it's a consistent, just being in there, getting knowledge and getting that strength and cardio and all that in your technique. Because he was in there doing stuff all the time, and they're learning all the time, and they're building his game all the time. And Kobe too. And they're doing the exact same thing. I mean, and then you saw these dudes, get good real fast. You know, I mean, regardless of, you know, what happened with their careers and what happened with mine, I mean, everybody has their own journey, I guess you could say, you know.
I hear you, man. I know that that especially younger, you know, you had an adversity to being in the gym when you weren't getting ready for a fight. I mean, is that something that's changed with that mentality? Are you in the gym more? Or are you making a more regular basis of being in there?
I have this motto that I live by, and I stuck with it. When I'm in a good mood, I go to the gym. When I'm in a bad mood, I go to the gym. Because, as you say, ADHD, the lack dopamine, doesn't naturally build up. So, you know, understand, man, like, I've been in the gym. Even when I was gone, I was still in the gym.
Right.
You know, because that makes me happy. That's like you say, you chase dopamine. I chase dopamine to the gym. Whether it's boxing, you know, was the Diaz brother. He said, man, this is how I train. I get up and I'm like, this is what I want to do today. It's kind of how I train. Like I get up and I'm like, all right, these are the schedules that we have. But outside of that, like if I don't have a fight coming up, this is kind of what I want to do today. This is what I want to do today too. Let me go in here and work on this. I mean, because it's fun to be able to get better. In my mind, it makes me happy to get better on a daily basis, you know? Like to even think about it and contemplate it. I'm happier on a daily basis by getting better, regardless of whether, you know, I am somewhere right now. Still to be able to get better on a daily basis makes me happy, even if I haven't gotten somewhere when I know I should be somewhere. You know?
So tell me a little bit about how do you balance your day-to-day life with, obviously, you know, I'm assuming you're working a full-time job. You obviously are going to the gym regularly and you've got a family at home. I mean, how do you balance that and how do you, what kind of gives and takes do you have for that stuff?
It just worked out. What I do is I get up and I bartend during the week, and then I run security on the weekend. So I mean, I don't really work that much during the day. Like when I'm bartending, I think my shift lasts about 4 hours. In that 4 hours, I can make between 50 to like 150. You know, not really doing a whole lot, and actually only working maybe 2 hours. So the job is perfect. You know, I get out, as soon as I get out, as soon as I get out between 3 and 4 o'clock, that's when the pros start going to the boxing gym. And as soon as I get out of there, I get a break. And I'm like, all right, now I got MMA later on with Skywalker, and our class don't start till 7. So I might at worst have like an hour off between training. So I can leave there and go home, get some food. If I have my daughter, she'll probably be with me. So we'll hang out, then we'll leave. She'll come with me. We'll go to the gym. She comes with me. I make sure I set her up with something to look at, something to play with, something to eat. Make sure she's set up, and bam, I'm in there and I'm training. I mean, it's not really that hard, honestly, because I want to do it. And then on the weekend, and plus, I also have help. I have a babysitter that's she's a foster parent. Okay. So she I take my child there during the day sometimes, but at the same time, her grandma, I take her over there too. You know, so I have like help. So that with my opportunities for jobs and training, I mean, I can get up in the morning, I run or do what my cardio is. And then whether it be swimming, sprints, running the park. And then after that, I got boxing. Boxing 4 to like maybe 5:30, because that's when all the younger kids will be in, and then we'll be done. So 5:30 to 6, 5:30 to 7, 5:30 to 7. That's when I have MMA practice at 7 o'clock. So, and then after that, I have MMA again. I mean, it's kind of perfect, you know? Like, I mean, I have a full day all the time, but that's what I want to do.
That's awesome, man. I'm happy to hear that you're, you know, really enjoying it and enjoying the struggle and all of that right now, man. It's great to hear.
I mean, like you have to. I tell these young cats, man, like, it's a lot of opportunities right now. Back in the day, Right? It wasn't like that. You know, it wasn't like you had one avenue and you had to be good. Like now it's like so many opportunities. And like, I feel like these younger kids just take it, they're not like, they're not respectful of, you know, I guess you could say what the old heads had to go through. Because honestly, like it opened up a lot more for me than it was back in the day. You know, but I feel like a lot of these younger cats wouldn't have made it back in the day because it was so hard, you know? Like, even before me, it was hard, you know? It really was nothing but that. You know, now you have all these avenues. Everybody wants to be like that. Now there's more opportunities. It's just, it's easier now, you know? And if you still have a mindset and still have the body and still have the want and the hunger to do it and you're a dog, then go out there because there's a lot of these cats that's coming up now that really ain't dogs. They're technically sound, they're good, but they ain't dogs, man. Like it's different to be a dog, man. Like it's just different, man. And everybody ain't dogs now, man. There's so much technique going into the game that you got a lot of guys just like, you know, yeah, I'm good, so I can do it. Nah, bro, you're gonna meet somebody that's good too, and they're a dog. And like it'll make you, you know, rethink, do I really want to do this? You know, like, cause I've been going through, like, been dealing with, I guess you could say the dark side of this for the last, like, wow, you know, and I'm still here. So I know this is what I want to do.
So if you were to give, you know, one of these young kids, you know, or the young kids at the gym, I mean, some pieces of advice. I mean, as far as managing their career, getting where they want to be, you know, what is like 3 things you could tell them that would say, hey, pay attention to this, don't do this? What would those 3 things be? Now, speaking on your careers, like where did you make missteps at that you could help direct somebody and say, you know what, I screwed up here, this is what I should have done?
Honestly, I don't think I've screwed up on anything.
Okay.
Like I accept everything that happened because things just happen the way they happen. You know, there's a lot of guys like, all right, I left. I got good here in Omaha, and I left and went to a gym. I told a lot of other guys. Coaches told me to do it. Like, things just didn't work out the way that, you know, they worked out for damn near everybody else that left. They just didn't work out like that for me, you know? But that's just how, you know, things sometimes go. What I would say is probably what Drew's mom told me to do. Yeah, I love that woman. But she said, experience everything, you know? So I'd say for everybody, just experience everything, you know? Because it's gonna come a time that you have a crossroads and you have to like see if this is really what you wanna do. I mean, because this ain't for everybody, man. Like, it really ain't. Like, if you ain't down for the bad parts that come with this, there ain't no point in you being here for the good parts, because it's only so many good parts that you can have. You know, so many ups, because there's a lot of downs. You know, like no matter how successful you are, there are a lot of downs. And I've seen like a lot of guys that are up right now that had a lot of downs that I was there for, that I could see, and I was just like, wow, that they stood tall for and they accepted, and now look where they are. You know, that's why they dogs, you know? Like, and I'd say just be consistent with your training, because that also helps. You know, like if you're not consistently trying to be in here, being your best, then you don't need to do this, because you can die. Point blank period, man. You can be a past tense real quick, man. You know, this ain't playing, man. You don't play this. You know, this is life. This is legitimately life and death. You know, because you can go in there and you may kill that man, or you may lose something by losing the fight. You know, you see a lot of guys that don't come back from a loss.
Right.
You know, so I mean, you can die inside, or you can die. I mean, which one do you want?
Well, let's talk a little bit about your fight next weekend. Well, you're fighting against Bubba McDaniels, UFC vet. You're fighting as the main event on a first ever card with Elite Championship Fighting. As new as it is, we're both familiar with the promoter on it, Kelly Wiseman. Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably why you got the phone call, because he's worked with you before. All right. He knows you're a good fighter. He knows that you're going to show up. What does it mean for you to get that phone call, to be that main event on that card? what does it mean for you to be fighting against somebody like Bubba McDaniels? And what does it mean for you to be just back at it doing it?
It means a lot. It means that all this training I've been doing, when ain't nobody looking, it actually starting like it's for something. I ain't just getting up and going to the gym because that makes me happy to get better. I'm doing it because now I have an opportunity. Not only an opportunity, but an opportunity against somebody that's actually been doing well. Not to speak on his bare knuckle or his stand-up fight, or I think it was a kickboxing fight. I'm talking about his MMA fights. He's on a 4-fight win streak right now. Okay. Yeah, he's on a 4-fight win streak. He's beat actually some good guys. Beat one of my ex-coaches, who's like a 2-3 stripe black belt, something like that. But I mean, Bubba's a name. Bubba's good. Bubba gonna bring it. And besides the fact that we actually do know each other pretty well. He's a good dude. I mean, it's good to be able to fight somebody at this caliber, because ain't no point in doing all this training if I ain't gonna fight somebody good, man. It's just depressing. Like if I'm for real, man, it's a lot of training, man, that goes into this. Like it's a lot of training I do. I don't know what everybody else does. But I mean, like to be doing all that just to be fighting some cupcakes, man. I just go I just fight bare knuckle if that's the case. No offense to those guys, man. But I'm just saying, like, if I'm gonna do all this training and not be fighting somebody that's like of the elite, there ain't no point in doing this, man. I can get a beer by them and fight for.
Well, man, I tell you what, I really appreciate you sitting down and chatting with me, man. It's great to catch up with you. It's been a long time. Be sure to check out Brian next on Saturday off on pay-per-view. Man, I look forward to seeing you back in the cage, man.
Hey, y'all, don't go to the bathroom. I promise you, man. This bad boy gonna be fun. It might be fast.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming up here. I know it's a little bit out of your way.
Not really.